What's going on, MFs? Welcome back to the Snake Pit. This is episode 140. Today's guests are Josh Brown, extra white dude, and Peter Keltz. It was a good episode. Had fun drinking, talking. We mostly were talking about Josh Brown's little adventure to Europe and Asia, in Turkey and Kyrgyzstan. I think I said that right. My apologies to those people if I didn't. But and he kind of had it's interesting to hear what we talk about and kind of the perspective of just learning about how the Turkish people kind of integrated basically four empires, thousands of years of history, and really didn't erase it. You'll know what I'm talking about if you listen to this episode. So it's a good one. I recommend you stick through it. If you would, please like and subscribe to the Snake Pit YouTube channel. It is free, and if you haven't done it, I don't know what to do with you. But other than that, I also have merch. You can rate and review the podcast on all streaming platforms. Also, my other channel, it's on my YouTube channel, but I have a different streaming platform called On the Road to Rattlesnake Roy. If you would please rate and review that one as well. That one's a new one. Audio platforms. So please do me that favor. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy. If you need your hair done, hit up Hella Soft at Texas Chainsaw Alchemist. Peter does the plants. He's pretty good at that shit, so hit him up. All the credentials will be in the description below, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much. This is that rancher.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't know. He had all kinds of merch.
That hat's really cool. It looks like almost a Naruto style, hat.
What's the name of his
Ring Bar?
Ring Bar Ranch.
Huh. Where's it at?
In Happy, and then he lives on the south side of town, in near Woodrow.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
But we're here, man. I don't know if this is gonna be good. Let me just
try for what you get. Feels good to be back. I felt like we did a winter sesh. Now we get a summer sesh.
Yep. Welcome back to the States.
Yeah, thanks.
How you doing?
I'm not as jet lagged anymore. I highly recommend that people do not do 30 hours of travel.
I recommend you scoot up because I don't know if we're gonna be able to see you. Or put the mic closer to you.
How's that?
It'll move. There you go.
There we go. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Peter, let me hear you.
Hello?
Okay, yeah. All right, we're good.
Cool. Yeah, I just got back on Friday from a 3-week vacation. We went to Turkey for a bit, and then we went to Kyrgyzstan to visit my girlfriend's family.
Why'd you go to... Did y'all just stop in Turkey, or what was the deal with that?
That's where she went for her undergrad. She spent 8 years in Turkey, so she has a lot of good friends. So Turkey was visiting the friends and, partying and getting sinful. And then Kyrgyzstan was the family where we got all wholesome. So
So what's Turkey like? Is that your first time there?
It's my first time ever being out of the country.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I thought the first time out of the country would be like Mexico or, Canada. I was not expecting to go somewhere that had... it's a Muslim majority country. They speak a completely different language. It's a culture I didn't know anything about the history of Turkey before I went. Besides that, we might Bare Naked Ladies song, Bring Me Back to Old Constantinople. That was the only one I knew.
That's an old. Well, no, I mean, like, Turkey's been a part of history almost throughout, mankind almost, huh?
Yeah, the oldest thing that I saw there was built in 1300 BC.
God damn, what was that?
Oh my God.
It was a giant obelisk that had been built there. And they had to, the country dug down, the people dug down because there was 50 feet of dirt that had collected over the last, dozens of centuries. Yeah.
2,000 years.
And they had to dig down so that you could see the bottom of it. So we got to see, it's just been, Istanbul has been a part of history for the last massive majority of time. That's where everything has come through. It's like in between Europe and Asia. So anything Asian, anything European passing between each other, they all pass through Istanbul. So seeing the history of it all was, especially as an American, very sobering to see this old culture, and me being from a relatively young culture in the global scale. But it was still fun to let people know I was from Texas, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, so dangerous! Bang bang guns!"
Really?
Yeah. There's like a Texan stereotype in other countries.
Nice. You should have brought. Did you wear a cowboy hat out there?
I forgot my cowboy hat,
I know.
and I felt awful about it. But yeah, as soon as I said that I was, they all knew I was American. Nobody thought I was European or anything else. They were just like, "Yeah, this guy looks."
Oh,
American."
you stand out like that over there?
Yeah.
Even you?
Even me.
God damn.
I mean, I'm very, very, very white looking. If I was any other looking ethnicity, I might have changed, but I just look very American, according to everybody that we interacted with.
I'll be damn.
So we had a good time in Turkey, and then Kyrgyzstan was its own separate, massive world.
We'll get to there.
Yeah.
We'll still talk about Turkey. What was it like? Were you hanging out with people who were born and raised there? Families and all that?
Yeah. So me and Aziza met up with her really good friend Mert, who is born and raised in Turkey. He is Turk. And all of the people that we interacted with were Turkish folks. So all of the time that we were spending with people who were from Turkey, who were raised in Turkey, who planned to continue living in Turkey. And it was cool. I mean, they were from different parts because Turkey's a big country. There's different areas of Turkey. And so we were in Istanbul, which is like the big giant city, and in Antalya, which is kind of like almost a resort city with a lot of ruins and a lot of old school, like Greek and Roman ruins and stuff, because once upon a time Turkey was the site of Troy, and that was where the Trojan War was fought.
Oh, really?
So that's where the history. Yeah, that's where the history of it goes back to. Like, if you want to go as far back as you can get, and so there's a lot of really cool stuff that was there, really old stuff. But then people have just continued being there for the last 3,000 years. And so there's a lot of stuff built on top of it. There's like 4 empires that just kept building stuff on top of each other. So
what's that one? The Holy Roman Empire?
Yeah.
That was the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah. So you had you had the Romans, then you had the Byzantines, which was the Holy Roman one. And then you had the Ottomans who conquered them eventually and fought them off.
And then we beat them in World War I.
Hell yeah. And then they broke up the Ottoman Empire and became the Turkish Republic, which it is today.
Is that I'm only going off what I've seen.
I knew so little about Turkish history until I got there. Basically, every day I would go home from whatever we were doing and just be like, Wikipedia, and just try and understand what it was that I had just seen.
Well, do they, do they pray? Do they do the sirens out?
The first day that I was there, we were eating dinner, and suddenly this massive noise erupts, because they call Turkey the city of 1,000 mosques, and there are absolutely more than that. I think there's 1,000 mosques in each square mile, because where we were sitting, suddenly this massive loud noise comes up, and their prayers are very chant-like. And they're out of loudspeakers. So it sounds like a siren was what I thought. And the only thing that I have in reference to it is in Utah earthquake sirens, and here tornado sirens.
Oh, okay.
And so I jumped out of my seat and was freaked out. And I was like, oh my God, what is happening? Are we okay? Is there a tsunami coming? Is there a hurricane? What's going on? And they're like, dude, it's a prayer. And I was like, what does that mean? Why are they praying? What's it? Because I panicked, I freaked out. And the sound of it was it drowned out all of the conversation, but it was just the evening prayer. And so they do that 5 times a day. And so the next time I got panicked out was at 5 in the morning, because they have the first call.
So what do you do as a non-Muslim? You can do whatever, they don't care?
I mean, the idea of the call to prayers is to remind people to pray. To demand that people. This
isn't like Iran or something where you have to pray or something.
No, and Turkey is, I think they're Muslim majority, but they're still that was, I think, the coolest part for me was we went to the Hagia Sophia, which is this really ancient building that was built in 543 BC by the Byzantines as a Christian church. Mm-hmm. And then was conquered by the Ottoman Empire in the 1450s and became a mosque. and they just invited us in.
This is a history lesson if y'all didn't know. So
Yeah,
this is
we're
awesome.
kids.
This is
I'm like, I love this. I
Right.
love. I'm just like learning so much.
And
it's
so
pretty cool.
we went
Yeah.
into it, and it's this thing. It's a football field sized dome that was built in 540, without cranes, without anything else. They just built it. I have no idea how. Like, I don't understand how these people in like 540 AD.
Slavery,
Yeah, I assume
Aliens.
aliens. Yeah,
aliens using slaves.
Alien slaves. But they built this giant, beautiful building, and it's been in use since then as this like important historical, cultural thing. And so we were able to go in, and we were able to be there while like there was an imam, which is like a Muslim priest who like gave through a prayer. And we were there. We were just sitting there in this ancient building, and it was chill enough for my girlfriend was taking selfies. We were taking pictures of each
Saw
other.
that.
Yeah, we were like looking up at these giant domes and all these angels and stuff. And so it was cool because I learned, I guess being raised where I was in Mormon, Utah, we were always taught that kind of like maybe Muslims were dangerous or scary or, whatever else.
I think a lot of Americans kind of felt that way for a little bit.
Well, I mean, you especially look at everything that happened after like 9/11. I mean, we had a lot of fear that was put into us. But being there, it was the most, like, my religion I grew up with, Mormonism, you don't go into the church. You don't go into the temple, especially. You have to be, like, you have to earn your right to be able to be there. I was in one of the top holiest places in Islam, and they invited me in. The only thing I had to do was wear pants instead of shorts because they wanted me to show respect to God. And that
That's cool.
Yeah, that felt really kind of neat to be able to walk in. I felt like out of place. I mean, I'm a 6'2" white guy, and
I was gonna ask, did you, to your knowledge, were you the only American or white dude there?
there was other white people, but I do not look like a European. I thought that I kind of would, but I don't. Like, they are more, they called it posh than I am, and I think posh is kind of like bougie, is what we would say, and I was not bougie enough, especially on that day, because I was wearing blue jeans, and it was 90 degrees Fahrenheit outside, 95% humidity. I was just sweating through everything. Like, I did not look like I was having a good time. But we did our best, and we had a good time. It was beautiful and wild and
You got a lighter?
kind of scary.
Or
But it was only scary because of the culture shock. Like, I didn't really know what to expect. But what I realized and learned was that everyone was treating me really friendly. They were very happy to have me there. And if anything, they were more excited to see me than like annoyed that I was there. Like, everybody tried to talk to me in English, and whatever English they knew, they were all really friendly to me. Like, the Turks are the cleanest. Like, that city of 15 million people, clean enough you could have eaten food off the cobblestones.
no shit.
Like, they are the cleanest people I have ever, like, been surrounded by. It was just so clean, like, so obsessed.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, what was it like with COVID and all that over there?
Oh, they didn't worry about it at all. Because,
Really?
I mean, they've survived through many other plagues that dominated and destroyed. the
Fuck, I didn't even
Europeans.
think about that.
Yeah, like, they didn't get touched by the Black Plague because they were clean. Like,
Shit.
that's how far back like their practices of cleanliness and thing go. And so, like, they're just very clean, and so they weren't too nervous about stuff. We had to fill out some paperwork before we went. We had to show that we were like COVID negative, that we had the vaccine before we went, and we had to apply for like acceptance into the country. They called it an e-visa. So it wasn't like a real visa, but it was like we had to apply for it, and I had to show that I was good to go by the government everywhere we went. But then as soon as I went in, we went to like techno clubs and electro clubs and like disco clubs.
Well, now you're already jumping into it. What's the extracurricular activities like over there?
Wild, man. Everything closed at midnight because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
So they closed everything early, but like stuff got started at like 6 p.m. and they went hard. Like, they like their dance music. We went to a techno club and it was like techno.
I love that.
And then we went to a club that was just playing mid 2000s hits, like
Oh, that's
mid
cool.
2000s American hits. We were listening to like R. Kelly, like early Kanye West, like Beyonce.
Hell yeah.
One Direction was there, a couple of songs, and everybody lost their mind. And I think that more people were losing their shit to music that was in English than could actually speak English. And I was having a great time just watching it happen. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Is this country a country of boozers? Do they like to drink over there?
So Islam does not permit
Oh,
drinking.
damn it.
But we did drink a lot, and they have a like specialty alcohol, like the alcohol of Turkey, which is called Raka, spelled Raki, Raka, and it's like Rumple.
Ugh.
It's like a peppermint flavored Rumple, and you.
Sorry, no disrespect to them, but ugh.
No. So this is what it was. Like I tried a shot of it, and I was like, that's too much. But what they do is you like get a bottle for you and the table, and then you pour the bottle in, and you pour like a shot glass, and then you fill the rest of the glass up with water. And then you get another water glass. And the idea is all of you all together over the night will finish the bottle, but slowly and carefully. And like the bottle is only like this big. And so everybody like drinks it with the water mix and everything. And it's like an opportunity for you guys to remind each other what's up.
We really are a country of excess, aren't we?
We in terms of that, yes. Like
Jesus.
I would have that bottle of Raka. I was like, oh yeah, if this was Rumple, all of us would be taking shots.
See, I was thinking that bottle's mine.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, we buy the bottle. It's like to be honest, it's like this size, and you buy it, and you all take a little bit, and you drink it throughout the evening, and you drink tea. You drink tea always. Tea is with every meal. Tea is with everything. And so you're just drinking your Raka, you're drinking your tea, you're reminding each other what's up. Someone brings a hookah, you're all smoking hookah around together, and so it's a very like comfortable. Like,
What kind of tea?
friendly black tea?
And it's hot, not
it's
cold,
always hot. It's
and not
always
iced
hot.
down.
It was such a hot place, but they kept drinking hot tea. Hot tea and cold Raka.
Do they smoke cigarettes a lot over there?
They smoked. I saw more people smoking cigarettes than I've ever seen. And everywhere you can just smoke. You can just smoke inside. You can smoke in the restaurants. You can smoke in the hotel rooms. You can smoke in everything. Like, it's just, you just smoke everywhere.
Is that your car? I keep hearing beeping.
I
Might
think
be
it
my
might be your neighbors.
might be my car.
Why is he running barefoot?
Look at these idiots. They're all running barefoot. Anyways,
Oh, and there was no homeless people in Turkey. Like, in the entire city, no homeless people that I saw at all. And this is a city half the size of New York City. You know, it's bigger than most of the places here in Texas. And no homeless people. I don't know why. I don't know how, but
COVID.
it was. I hope not.
Sorry. What kind of food did they eat over there?
Turkish food.
What is Turkish food?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe.
Was there any like fast food restaurants over there?
Yeah, Burger King is the most popular American
No shit.
restaurant there. Yeah, I thought it'd be McDonald's for sure, and then KFC in Kyrgyzstan.
Did
which
you
I was not
did you
expecting.
try it?
I tried the KFC, and
Because they have like different.
yeah,
Isn't it like real meat over there?
yeah, well, they have to do a halal, which is like Jewish has kosher, Islam has halal, and so they have to make it by a certain food standard. And so, yeah, the burgers were better at Burger King than they were here.
Do they have 7-Eleven?
No,
No, that's like Asian countries, huh? Or East Asia.
maybe. Yeah, I've never been to an East Asian country, so I don't know.
I watch a lot of YouTube about it. That's why I was wondering, because I've heard a lot of crazy things about those places.
Yeah, they just had a lot of markets. Just like every street, there was like 3 or 4 markets that were basically like little convenience stores. And they have like fresh fruits, and they have like all of the drinks that you could want, and they have like tea and like all that jazz. And that's everywhere that you go, because you can't drink the tap water in Istanbul. So they just, if you want water, you have to go buy water, and you just buy a lot of it and you bring it back with you. You just drink it.
I was thinking, like, I've always thought that, like, going to another country, I'd accidentally drink the tap water, because that's what I drink here.
Yeah, they told me that if you accidentally drink the tap water, you are just not going to have a good time. You're just going to be ingesting like heavy metals, especially from like the pipes that have been there for like 1,000
Oh,
years.
God.
And then you're probably going to get like Giardia or something else. They were just like, no, don't drink the tap water. Like I asked when we were introduced to our first Airbnb, I asked the Airbnb host, and I was like, so is it okay to drink the tap water? Do you have a filter? He was like, go buy your water like a normal person.
Oh, you did Airbnb over there?
Yeah, we did Airbnb
Oh,
over
shit.
there. Yeah, it was great. Airbnb was great over there. I highly encourage
Is
it.
it cheap?
It was ridiculously cheap. So an American dollar has 8 times the buying power that it does here. So like, we went to a club, like the techno club I mentioned. We were on the rooftop. It was like a fine ass techno club. Like people were dressed well. They had DJs that they invited, all that stuff. Me and my girlfriend together spent $15 on all the alcohol we wanted to get a little tipsy. And we were not buying cheap. We were buying nice, and that was all we needed throughout the evening to have a good time. And that was like an expensive.
I think I saw you post about this. You tip somebody, and they don't do that over there?
No, they don't tip over there. So we went to the sushi restaurant, and we spent for like me, my girlfriend, and her best friend. We spent like $60 total for like fresh fish. Like we bought a bottle of wine. Like we went for it for dinner, and this was a nice place. We spent $60 total, and so I tipped what I would have spent if I spent $60 at a place like here. I was like, you guys served me super well. You were funny. You were friendly. You were very attentive. I tipped him $20. What I thought of was like $20. Like the people acted like I was, insane. They were like inviting us to come take shots with them. They like gave my girlfriend or her best friend like kimonos so they could like take pictures at the place. They were bringing me coffee. They asked if I wanted recommendations for places. They said they'd get us into like clubs and stuff.
Motherfucker.
And I didn't know what was going on. I just thought that they were like super cool and super friendly. And then we walked out, and my girlfriend's Turkish best friend was like, yeah, you tipped him enough that you were the king of the place. Like, that is not what you tip. You tip like 3 times what any normal person would tip if the service was good. And I was like, I was just doing what was normal. Like, that's what I would have tipped if I went to like Hayashi Midtown or something, So,
Damn.
yeah, it was nice. I do highly recommend that if you
We gotta go over there, Jen.
if you want to go see a cool place and you want to like
You gotta hook us up with her friends. I want to go if I know somebody.
yeah, you want to go find some cool stuff, like go to Antalya, go to Istanbul, go have some fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the only expense is getting there. Once you cross the Atlantic or cross the Pacific and you're in that area, we spent $20 to fly from Istanbul for like a 5-hour flight down to Antalya, which is like the Mediterranean coast.
Wait, how much?
$20.
Oh, shit.
$20 to fly all inclusive a 5-hour flight. A 5-hour flight here is like to Chicago, and I'm going to be spending at least $300, $400.
Wow.
They don't tell you about this, man. You don't.
They don't tell you because
shit you don't hear.
the country.
I guess not, man. What other not weird, what other like cultural shocks did you witness? Anything like crazy that you wouldn't see here? I'm sure everything actually.
Yeah. They're, I don't know, they're just friendlier there. Like, Lubbock is a friendly place, and I've appreciated like getting to know the people, but like, I don't know, the Turkish people and the Kyrgyz people as well were just insanely friendly. They were just like the concierge at the first hotel we were at. My girlfriend and her best friend wanted to go out to a club, but I was super jet lagged, so I was like not super into it. And I stayed back, but I got hungry and I wanted to go out. And the concierge literally took me on like this 45-minute adventure to go to his favorite place to eat kebab, and like got me the kebab and like helped me pay for it, and like spoke to the people there and told them to take care of me, and like did all of this stuff, and like sat there, didn't order anything himself, but just sat there and helped me enjoy it and like eat it well, and told me goofy stories about like growing up in Istanbul and everything. And then just
That's cool as fuck.
directed me back and left. And I was like no tip, nothing. He just did that because I was like, yo, I can use some help. And he just...
Do many people
love
speak
that.
English?
I was surprised at how many
Really?
people actually spoke English. English and Russian seem to be like the tourist languages.
What language do they speak?
Turkish.
Oh, that's its own language.
Yeah. So they speak Turkish, but a lot of them spoke English. Enough English that we could like get around. And even people who didn't speak English very well were willing to like sign language.
They wanted
the
that
way
$20
out of
tip,
help me.
man.
Yeah, they were. I don't know if they knew it was going to be there, but they were willing to help me out. They were just a very friendly, very clean, very happy people. It felt the biggest thing that I thought was like it felt like I was in like a middle-aged country, like a country that knew what it was about. It knew what it cared about. It wasn't trying to impress anybody. The Turkish people were just like, we're happy with our life. We like what we're doing. We can help you out because you seem a little lost. You kind of seem a little naive, like a little young. So come here and let me show you what's up. Which felt, I mean, especially for being my first country that I've been to out of the place, I was imagining the worst. I was imagining that every street that I went down, I was going to get mugged by somebody, that they were going to be like, look at the white guy, let's steal his money. You know, all of that. And I was really, really glad to have been surprised and delighted by the places that we were at. In terms of a first country that I could go to, like, I want to go back as often as I'm able to. Yeah, it was absolutely a blast. I encourage everybody to go. Like, Turkey's the tits. Like, go to Turkey.
Yeah, maybe they'll see you. Did anybody, like, do you make any friends on Instagram over there? Maybe they'll see this.
We actually did. Oh, I have a good story. This will be a good story. One of the nights we had been out and we went to, so there is a European side of Istanbul and there is an Asian side of Istanbul. It's a city that borders both continents. And you take the 15-minute ferry and you go to the Asian side. So we went to the Asian side because that's where the, like, bars and the nightclubs and, like, the youth hang out, and it's, like, fun, cool stuff. So we went to this cool nightclub. We had a lot of fun. But on our way home, we took a taxi cab and we took one of Aziz's friends. And the friend was a little bit more drunk than we were expecting, and kind of started to yell at people while we were in the taxi cab. And some of the people on the road, like, came up and, like, yelled at him back, and then they were yelling at each other, and then punches started to get thrown.
Oh, nice.
I don't speak Turkish, so I didn't know what was going on. Punches are getting thrown. Somebody started throwing kicks out, and we're obviously very surprised, very shocking. So we're grabbing our friend and, like, trying to pull the window up and being like, I'm sorry. Like, this dude is just a little bit drunk. Please leave us alone. I'm so sorry. We get to our Airbnb after leaving these folks alone, and the guy gets out, and he's drunk enough to, like, want to fight everybody. So he's trying to fight Aziza, he's trying to fight me. God. And as a 6'2", like, I was pretty big in Turkey. I mean, I'm a relatively large man here, but I was pretty big in Turkey, and I was like, we're not going to have this fight. And if we're going to have this fight, I'm just going to hold you down on the ground. And so he, disappeared, yelling at us, screaming at us. And so we went back to our Airbnb. We were like, fuck it, whatever. We don't have to give him a house. He's got his own places. He can figure it out. And we get back to the Airbnb, and there's a gate code to get into the place. And then we have a key to get into our place. Gate code works just fine. And then we realize Aziz's friend had the key.
Oh, shit.
And so we're hosed. We can't get into it anyway. And so we walk back up. We're, like, sitting by the gate trying to figure out what to do. I don't have phone service. I'm in a foreign country. Aziz is trying as best as he can to, like, connect to the Wi-Fi, message the guy, see if he gets up. But he was belligerent, And then I hear a Texas drawl coming down the street. And these 4 dudes from Houston, like, walk into the Airbnb, like, coming through, and they're dressed in, like, suits, but they're like white ass Texas, like, heavy drawl folks, and they're coming in, and they hit the gate, and they come in, and I'm like, are y'all American? And he's like, are you from Texas? And I was like, dude, I'm from Lubbock, and we're locked out of our Airbnb right now. And the dude is pretty drunk at that point, but he says, don't matter, come on up, I got a bud for you, got some water, let's make it work. And so him and his 4 buddies who had all been out drinking, it was their first night in Istanbul, July 5th, they come up and they said, you know what, we're going to help Americans out. We haven't talked to an American, we'll figure it out. And so we waited until we could get back in touch with Aziz's friend. Eventually he came, we were able to figure out everything. But if it wasn't for those 4 goddamn Houstonians, we were there. And the entire time I was just sitting there, and Aziz was like, wow, it's so lucky that we have Americans here. I was like, God bless America, man.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. Of all places.
Of all the places, yeah. And Texas, they were very surprised to see, like, anyone who was there. And I was like, I'm from Lubbock. And they were like, No fucking shit.
What the hell were they doing there?
They're just visiting, just having fun, just the same thing we were doing. They had just gone to go visit for some reason. But yeah, now we're all friends on Instagram.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
If they listen.
Shit. Texans that helped us out. I was really grateful for it.
Oh my goodness. So after this, you go to Kyrgyzstan? Is that what it is?
Kyrgyzstan.
I don't want to be... Where is that at?
There's a lot of Z's and a lot of Y's and a lot of G's, and there are not a lot of vowels. It's in Central Asia. It's close to China, and it was part of the old Soviet Union. So it's just kind of like, you look at Asia, and it's just kind of like there. And
how was that?
Very different from Turkey. Very Soviet, because where we were was kind of the city that a lot of it had been built during the Soviet Union. So it was a lot of concrete. It was a lot of very big, imposing structures. If you've ever been to Dallas and seen the city hall, where it's just that giant concrete like wedge, it was a lot of stuff like that. And then big mountains. Like, I've grown up in Utah and I've seen a lot of mountains, but the Kyrgyz mountains are insanely larger than anything we have here in the US. And so you're just surrounded by these big giant mountains and all the Kyrgyz and Russian people. Like, everyone is Kyrgyz, which looks like Aziza, which is like Central Asian, or they're Russian and they look very Russian, like Putin, but like Putin's babies.
Were they friendly?
They were friendly. They were not as friendly as the Turks, but it was because less of them spoke English. Like, at that point, everybody spoke Russian, but I did not speak Russian. And everybody spoke Kyrgyz, but I did not speak Kyrgyz. So I did my best to be friendly and smiley and hopefully, hope for the best. But it was a lot of fun. Their culture is, the Kyrgyz people have been independent of any influence for like 9,000 years. The whole like your nomadic culture, like all of that has been what they've had until they chose to enter the Russian Federation, once they chose to like bring whatever technologies they wanted. And so because of that, like, they're a very, very, very independent, proud, culture that has been its own. And if anyone wanted to like mess with them, they still can kick anybody's ass, because it's a giant mountainous region that it's like Switzerland. It's like, you can invade it, but they're going to last longer than you are,
Dang.
So it was really cool. It reminded me, the most that it reminded me of was the time that I visited any like Navajo places or like places dominated by any of the native tribes that we have here, because these people have had their own thing, but this was people that have never had to deal with colonists in the same way that any of the native tribes here have, because they knew the mountains better than anybody else. They could have waited and for the other people to die out while they continued to thrive and survive and enjoy themselves. And so their culture is incredibly strong, but also is incredibly unique, and they don't care enough to want to share it with anybody.
So were they forced into the Soviet Union? Or
no, they joined it.
Why'd they join it, do you know?
When they joined the Russian Federation in like 1906 is what I want to say, and I'm kind of poor on the history right now. They joined it because they wanted access to the railroads, and they wanted to bring some of the railroads through Kyrgyzstan on the way to China, because the Kyrgyz people are right in the middle of the Silk Road. So leading from like Saudi Arabia to China and like through Europe, you have to pass through Kyrgyzstan. And because they have really effective horse riders, they could have just murdered anyone who came through that they didn't want to. And so they've had massive like trade fluxing through everything. And so when the Russian Federation started to build railroads, they were like, cool, bring some of those through here so that we can continue to get some money, continue to get some trade through. And then when the Soviet Union started, there was a really influential Kyrgyz guy who was like, guys, we should be Soviet. We should be communist.
Communists.
And they joined it to be communist. And when the Soviet Union started to collapse, the Kyrgyz nation was one of the first to break away from it. And we're like, cool, we're Kyrgyz now. And we don't have to worry about this, and we don't want to deal with it. And they were able to avoid a lot of the economic turmoil that happened at the end of the Soviet Union because they just have always looked out for themselves, and they're a very successful independent nation.
Are they descendants of Mongolians? Like Genghis Khan?
So Genghis Khan, for sure, they had the way that Aziza tells me the story is that the Kyrgyz people used to be red-headed, green-eyed people. And then when the Mongolians came through, they killed all the men and impregnated all the women. And now all of the Kyrgyz people are more Mongolian seeming than red-haired and green-eyed, though you do still get a lot of red-headed and green-eyed Kyrgyz people who look essentially like my very Asian-looking girlfriend, but with either red hair or green eyes.
No shit.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's super weird, but definitely, I mean, both of the places I went, Turkey and Kyrgyzstan, are places where a lot of people have gone through over thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And that's very different for me, who looks essentially the same as any of my ancestors would have looked for the last 500 years, because they were Scots who came to America and then married other Scots-Irish people. And that was a really, I don't know, the history of it all, and being in a place that had such a deep history and a deep recorded history, continuously recorded history. Because I know I'm in a place here in Lubbock, we have the Lubbock Lake Historical Landmark. People have been here for a couple thousand years.
No, I was just about to say that. It's almost kind of sad that we just completely wiped out a whole.
Yeah.
That, I think they say 5,000 years almost, maybe.
Yeah.
Humans have been in North America.
Yeah.
And we pretty much just wiped it all out.
Yeah, we don't have the history anymore.
That's not me, actually. His people, not my people.
My people, yeah. I mean, and that was the sobering thing for me as an American to be in these places with this deep history, was to realize that a lot of the deep history that's here.
Peter's people too.
Oops, yes. But a lot of the deep history that's here, I've been to Mesa Verde National Park. I've been to the Pueblo ruins and the Taos Pueblo and things like that. I've seen some of the deep history that's here, but it's still so fragmented. Where if you were to go to somewhere like Istanbul, they have that history continuously recorded. They know the names of the people who walk through those streets. They know the things that they did. They know the technologies that they brought. Here in America, we essentially ignored the history that was there.
Do you think that's on purpose?
I think some of it might be, and some of it might be because there's a difference, I think, between purposefully erasing and purposefully ignoring. And I think at the beginning it was purposefully ignoring. They didn't care. They just wanted to be here.
Colonizing. The
colonizers, yeah, they wanted to be here. And then at a certain point, if you're going to colonize a place, you do have to purposefully erase if there are other people there. What I saw in Turkey especially, there's 4 empires that were built on top of each other, and they tried to integrate everything that happened. They didn't try and avoid it. They didn't try and ignore it. They had to bring it into place, because otherwise you're going to be fighting
Maybe
wars.
That's why there's less conflict over there than about that. Because right now people are, natives are fighting for,
Yeah, it depends on what place you look. The Palestinians and the Israelis probably have different things about how much conflict's going on.
Sorry.
But in Turkey, at least, it seems that people were willing to try and build on top of what was there. And even though it's a Muslim nation now, they still, protect the Greek and Roman ruins that were built there. Even though those were pagans, they still protect the Hagia Sophia, which was originally a Christian church that has now become a mosque, but they still, there were crosses in that place. There was a beautiful portrait of Jesus that was painted in 600 that they preserved because they wanted.
What did he look like in that painting?
He looked very pixelated because it was kind of I don't know. And that was the weird thing to me, was that it seemed that people were willing to, and that was the impressive thing to me about when the Ottoman Empire, when the Muslims conquered the Byzantine Empire, the Christians, they preserved the Christian things because they thought that even though this was a different religion, it was still a sacred spot. And the
Wow.
the idea that this might be someone else's like religion that started this, but the sacredness of it is still important. Like that's something that like resonated with me. Like kind of like it
The
felt like I was
respect.
banging a gong. Yeah. I mean, it's the same way that I feel when I go to like Mesa Verde or the Taos Pueblo. When I'm seeing this place, I'm like, I don't understand necessarily what happens here. I don't understand necessarily what was going on in some of these hogans. I don't necessarily understand what was happening here. But and I'm not Catholic. I can go to cathedrals and I can see the beauty that's there, and I can say, this is not something I'm familiar with, but it's still something that's sacred.
You have like a reverence for it.
A reverence, yeah, a reverence for it is a really good way to describe it.
That's interesting. Damn, I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah, I've never been
God.
to a Muslim. I've never been to a Muslim majority, but I've never been to a place that the majority religion was not something I was familiar with. I'm so used to dealing with Christians that being in a place where I was the minority with my Christian religion, with my Christian history, that was unthinkable to me.
And that just makes me think now it makes me understand why there is a lot of resentment and a lot of hatred for like the Europeans that did come to America and just take out with nothing, just didn't give a fuck.
Well,
Absolutely no fucks.
the annihilation, I think, and the
Genocide.
attitude, yeah, the attitude of genocide, the attitude of annihilation is, I mean, to be honest, I've always been thinking of, I was raised to think of kind of like Muslim folk as like the villains, right? That Islam was like that I was going to get jihaded, that I was going to get like damaged, that I was going to get hurt. And suddenly I'm looking through this and I'm seeing these people that treated this Christian church that had existed for 1,000 years before them with a reverence because they wanted to preserve it. So they turned it into one of their most sacred sacred objects so that they could keep it and preserve it and make certain that people cared about it. Like that was pretty intense and made me feel a little small. Made me feel a little embarrassed, I guess, to see other people that maybe I could have looked behind and see, there might have been people in my past, my ancestorship, who would have tried to erase this if it was something that was different than the Hmong. And that was pretty cool. It also reminded me of all the really great, good Christians that I know, all of the people who have deep respect and deep admiration and deep love for the people around them. But it did definitely help me realize that, especially, I mean, in the places I was, Turkey and Kyrgyzstan, they have a deep love and respect for anyone who cares about something greater than themselves. And that was cool. It was really lovely.
How did her family treat you? Was it fun? Did y'all get drunk?
We didn't get drunk because again, Muslims.
Oh, they're Muslims over there too?
Yeah, in Kyrgyzstan,
So they kept their religion?
Islam pushes up there. Well, this is the weird thing. Her mom is a shaman, like old school, like pagan style shaman, but incorporates Islam into it. And so
Oh shit.
we did some shamanistic things.
Was there other substances involved?
There were they have a drink called kumas that is fermented horse milk.
Oh shit.
Because they really care about horses. They really love horses because they ride horses. They're nomads, And so we drank kumas, which is fermented horse milk, and it's kind of like a really strong kombucha. And I definitely got tipsy on it quite a bit, but that was because her family kept, like, finishing your glass there is a sign that you want more, which I didn't know until like 5 days into it. So like, if you don't want any more, just drink enough to like there and then leave it. But if you finish your glass, they're giving you more.
Oh, I'd be no good over there.
I drank a lot of
I'd be no good over there.
It was very wild, and it definitely can get you drunk. So we drank some of that. They also have this thing that's kind of like chewing tobacco, but it's also gets you high. And that was weird, and I didn't know that at the time. They just kept giving. Again, I was the odd man out. I did not speak Russian. I did not speak Kyrgyz, so I didn't know what was going on. They just kind of gave me stuff. And I was just like, sure, thank you. I appreciate it. And I didn't know if it was food. I didn't know if it was drink. I didn't know if it was tea. I was just taking what they gave me. But yeah, they, according to Aziza, they like me a lot, which I'm grateful for. Her brother, Kanye, did speak a lot of English, and him and I became pretty good friends. Her brother, Adelet, did not speak as much English, but him and I still became pretty good friends. And him, Adelet, me, and Aziza went out to a club, and we all had some fun dancing at this techno club in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan.
Dude, that's cool.
With a lot of very, like, it had neon and, like, Japanese samurai and, like, cherry blossoms and stuff. It was actually a really, really cool
that.
club.
That sounds so fun.
I know. I'm like, the picture I have in my head is just beautiful.
It was a very cool club to be in, but it was also real odd to, like, be there because I was kind of expecting that it would all be, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you guys do, like, lots of shopping?
We did.
I feel like I would just shop.
This outfit that I'm wearing all came from Turkey.
Just because, like, I just...
yeah.
I can imagine just, like, how different their style is or, like, even just kind of just how unique it is almost. I feel like I would just have to take tons of things home with me.
Well, in Kyrgyzstan is all silk and wool. And it's all, like, handmade, beautiful stuff.
Wow.
Where were y'all at when you seen the rug,
cool.
when you were at the rug thing?
That was in Turkey.
Oh, okay.
The Turkish rugs are famous. So we bought Turkish rugs. I bought this outfit in Turkey, all linen and cotton, because I needed to survive in the heat. But the silk, especially in Kyrgyzstan, was so impressive. And so a lot of silk scarves, a lot of things. I really wanted to find, like, a silk tracksuit, like Russian mafia.
I was going to ask if you seen people in tracksuits.
Oh, I saw so many people in tracksuits. And the squat, the, like, Slavic squat of just, like, squatting down. And, like, that's how you sit, like, comfortably was, like, it hurt my knees to think about. But yeah, definitely a lot of things. Like, I want to go back and shop more, but I started to run out of room in my bags to take it all back.
Jeez.
We did bring home some really beautiful handmade stuff, but the Kyrgyz, like, patterning and style of everything, especially their, like, traditional clothing, is incredible. Just gorgeous stuff.
I can only imagine.
Sounds like a fucking... I know, again, it sounds like a blast.
Sounds like a dream.
It sounded like a trip. And I do encourage, like, I've talked to people who went to, like, European countries like France or England and everything. It's more expensive than it is here.
Oh, yeah.
Being in Turkey, it was so cheap. Being in Kyrgyzstan, it was so cheap. Like,
I feel like that would just be so tempting as to, like, why not just...
I spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of really wonderful, incredible things and really good experiences out of it. And so, like, we went to, like, a Turkish bath because Turkish baths are famous. And it's, like, a mix of a spa and a sauna all together.
So like... Oh, yeah.
Both,
like, clothing optional.
both genders, if you will.
Clothing optional.
Were they, like, strict or anything about, like, tattoos or anything? Because I know, like, some places in, like, other countries and
Aziza has a really big tattoo on her back, and she wasn't afraid to wear, like, crop tops or, like, things with low backs or anything, and she typically got complimented.
Okay,
but
cool.
when we went to places like the mosques and things, she did wear, like, full cover stuff. But that's the same thing that I would do.
Was that called a burqa?
Just out of respect, I guess.
She just wore, like, a shirt and, like, a floor length dress and stuff like that. So she didn't wear, like, the head scarf or anything.
Hijab.
Like that. Yeah.
Oh,
and so
that's what it's called.
Yeah, it just
can you
kinda,
get tattoos there?
Yeah,
Is it
that's where Aziza's all of her tattoos are from.
Oh,
Turkey.
she got them over there.
Yeah, a guy named Grunka.
Okay. Her tattoos are amazing.
Yeah,
I've seen that back tattoo. It's
they
beautiful.
have very careful, very fine lines in the tattoo. Apparently, they have an entirely different styling over
Dude,
there.
that'd be cool to get a tattoo there.
Yeah, so like American style, like I've got mine, and it's like thick lines and like stuff. And like Americana traditional tattoos are like thick. They are like they're all about the very thin, very careful lines. So they have an entirely different way of doing it.
Huh.
Because they try
Just
and do
even think of that.
Yeah, they try and do very, especially when they do like more traditional Islamic like filigree and like the writing and everything, you have to be very delicate with the lines to get that calligraphy in there. And so like that's what they train to do instead of like what we train to do, which is apparently like more of that thicker in the shading and everything else. So
I'm trying to think how to ask this because it seems like your ability to express yourself is more. It's a lot easier to do that here in America. So how do people? Do they wear colored hair and piercings and tattoos in either of these countries you went to?
Yeah.
Is it a lot of people doing that? The clothing, what is it?
So in Turkey, everybody dresses very finely. Like all of the women were wearing makeup. All of the women had their hair done. All of the men had very clean, like barbered hair. Like everybody was going, and there was no fat people in Turkey that I could see. Like everybody takes care of themselves. They're fit. They're careful. I did see a lot of people with colored hair, but it was typically younger people, like my age and younger. In Kyrgyzstan, I saw more of the colored hair and everything, but that was typically from the Russians who were there.
Did you see? Oh God, I gotta be careful. Did you see any openness with like the LGBT?
So, yes, at a lot of the nightclubs that we went to, yes. But apparently Turkey has recently, their current president has been more on the conservative side.
Because I know that a lot of that don't fly in other countries.
Yeah, that has mainly been on their new president has been on the conservative side, and they haven't been as big a fan of some of that. Mm-hmm. But I did see, especially in some of the neighborhoods that we went to, like on the Asian side of Istanbul and Katakoy, in the kind of the nightclub area on the European side, Taksim, there was a lot more of that there. And so I think it depends. I mean, it's almost kind of like states here. I'm going to see more of that maybe in, say, like California.
The West Coast.
Yeah, or maybe in like New York City or something than I might see in like, say, Happy, Texas, or, some...
Good old Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah. But at the same time, you're still going to see some of it. And so we were there, and I mean, we were spending time, all of the time that we spent was with folks who were on one of the, Alphabet Mafia and the LGBTQ.
And they were open about it.
And they were willing to be open about it. But again, depending on where we went, if they're going to mosques, they're not going to be like, being there, because they're there for the historical and cultural significance. And so it seemed that people had a lot of respect for the places that they were at. And if they were at the wrong place where it might not be respected, they wanted to make certain that other people felt comfortable. And that seemed to be more of it than that they were worried they were in danger, if that makes sense. It was more of a respect thing. But yeah, we saw plenty of folks. I watched a lot of people at the nightclub just get it.
Love it.
This might be like a specific question, because I'm trying to think. Because even if like I've been going on like walks, and what I notice, I mean, you fucking notice it anywhere actually. Just a lot of people fly a lot of flags, different flags, even some fucking ones that are crazy, like some wild flags. Do they fly like? Do they have like? Is there neighborhoods where like houses with each individual flags? You know what I mean? You know what I'm?
There was not that. Not so much. The biggest flag that I saw in Turkey was the Turkish flag. They really like to fly that, and they got a lot of hills and like that. They're very patriotic people. Mm-hmm. They very much definitely care about their culture out there. And the Kyrgyz flag was the biggest flag that I saw in Kyrgyzstan. Going to the bars and places, they use the flags as a way to invite people who want to come there. So there were certain times where there were flags that were... we saw like the rainbow flag, for example, at one of the clubs that we went into, and that helped us to know that we were there. We also went to a club where Aziz's really good friend, who is pretty openly on the LGBTQ spectrum, we were not allowed in, and they made up every rule that they could.
Shit!
To let us know that we were not welcome.
So when that happened, was there a lot of fuss?
They made a lot of fuss, but they were doing it like kind of almost aggressively to let us know that it was that. And then finally when we queued onto it, because we were surprised by it, right?
Oh, no shit.
And we didn't really know what was going on. And me as the American, I was the guy in the front, and I was asking, I was like, I don't get what's happening. I don't get what's happening. They're saying that we can only go in this way, but now they're only saying we can go in this way. And then it was her friend who finally told me, he was like, dude, it's because of me. And I was like, why would it be because? Oh, now I get it. And so some of that stuff was there, but I've also ran into stuff like that in Dallas or even here.
Well, I mean, I figured you'd...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just keep thinking, like, again, with, you can kind of be a little bit more fucking like you can say you hate the government here without a little more leeway. It would seem like in other countries. Or you hate the rules.
Yeah, you can hate the rules
because you can't do that in Russia.
No,
or China.
They're very aggressive about some of that stuff. But I wasn't in Russia or China.
Well, that influence in those other,
It was surprising to see because I've never been out of the U.S., so I only have the stereotypes and everything else that I've gained here in the U.S. Like when I went to Kyrgyzstan, I thought it was going to be a relatively quote unquote primitive, quote unquote Soviet.
That's why I'm asking because that's how I figured.
Yeah. And to be honest, I realized that the people of Kyrgyzstan don't give a shit about what you're doing. Their core, like even more than I think the American core is freedom.
Good.
That's all they want. They're nomad warriors, and they're going to do what they need to do. The people in Turkey are a very proud and very quote unquote old people. Yeah. In the sense that their society has been around for a very, very long time. And the Turkic people, the thing that they care the most about is making certain that people are comfortable and happy and that everything is going well.
That's good to hear.
And that's what I realized. And as long as I did not, if I messed with anybody, I remember that taxi ride where this dude who was too drunk started messing with other people. Yeah, they're going to kick my ass. And they know how to do it and they're not going to be afraid of it. But at the same time, if I treat them well, they're going to treat me well. And in fact, they're going to make certain that I have as good of a time as possible because they're very proud of their nation. They want me to enjoy their nation. They want me to enjoy their culture. Yeah, they want me to have a good time. And I was really grateful to be in a place that people were not only so kind, but so forgiving of my, lack of knowledge.
Look at us breaking down these stereotypes and these.
Yeah, I had a great time though. I cannot wait to go back to Turkey. I cannot wait to go back to Kyrgyzstan. I didn't get to explore those mountains nearly enough, and I want to hike.
So they hunt and shit, and they're hunters.
Yeah, they just fucking eagles to hunt.
That's awesome. Sorry, I don't know if I spit on you.
No, that's fine. They're
I totally just spit on you. My bad, dude.
They're those guys who have the eagles that land on their thing and then they go hunt things with it.
Yeah, I've seen that. that. Those are some big ass birds, aren't they?
They were their arm span was my arm span. They can pick up kids.
Yeah, I've seen some again YouTube. It's my only know. I've seen how they train them and.
Yeah, there was some cool stuff, and I hope to be able to see more of it once I'm here.
Yeah, that's freaking cool. You plan on going back?
Definitely to Kyrgyzstan, so that we can visit our family some more. And
when you fly out of there, where do you come from the west?
You go from Manas, which is their international airport, and then we come to. So we flew from Istanbul to Manas, and if you're going to leave from Kyrgyzstan, they don't like to fly over the Himalayas, so you're always going to come through Europe or Dubai or Saudi Arabia or something, because otherwise you have to get.
Can you fly it?
You can fly through Shanghai and stuff, but it's
no. I'm can you fly over the Himalayas?
You can, but it's hard.
I know birds can't.
The weather gets real gnarly, real bad up there. So they always typically fly through Middle East, Europe, stuff like that.
I need to make more international friends so I can go over there, man.
I haven't made any except for these folks.
Except for your fucking girlfriend?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I've got a good one. Good one.
Yeah, I need to make some more friends so we can go over there.
Yeah, I understand what people say when they say that when you go international, you want to just keep going international. Now all I want to do is travel again. I was disappointed to come home, not because I didn't want to be home, not because I didn't want to see my friends and my stuff, but because it was so much fun to explore these new areas, and it was cheap to do it too.
But the flight there across the Atlantic is not cheap.
No, that's the most expensive thing. It was $1,500 round trip to get everywhere, and as a student, that was a lot of money. Is still a lot of money because I did the payment plan so that it didn't kill me all at once.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah. Through a lot of places. Through a lot of places
that's so
you can.
Convenient.
Yeah.
I might be going to Europe and Asia next year.
Go.
But the cool thing is, like I said, once you get there, it was a $20 flight to an entire another city 5 hours away.
If I got any international fans, please allow us to be our guide because I don't want to go alone. That scares me. But I'd go if I knew.
If I had gone to Turkey without, and this is going to be me doing a big shout out to Aziza's best friend Mert, who's now one of my really good friends after spending a good amount of time with him. He was my Turkish guide. If it was not for him, I would have had a rough time in Turkey. And if I didn't have Aziza when we went to Kyrgyzstan, like, I would have been sitting in my hotel room the entire time, you know. So it definitely helped to be able to get guides. But the nice thing is, a lot of the places that you go, the people at least know enough English. They know more English than you know their language, and they're willing to help you out with it. Even in like the random remote villages that we went to in Kyrgyzstan, there was enough people who I could at least ask, "Where's the bathroom? How much is this?" And they were able to help me out with everything.
So doing all that, how much were you on your phone? Not at all. You
can't use your phone international. I mean, unless you're connected to Wi-Fi or unless you pay for a payment plan or a SIM card. So when I would get to the Wi-Fi, I would use my phone to check up on messages. I also was, and don't do this, kids, I was moving my house here in Lubbock to a new place. Me and my girlfriend got a new house, and we tried to move into it the same time that we were gone internationally. So we were getting a lot of call from our landlords and Lubbock Utilities, and LP&L called me while I was in Kyrgyzstan, and garbage like that. Don't do that. So I had to be on my phone relatively often to check on that. But otherwise, I mean, it's too entertaining to look at everything else around you. Like, do I want to be on my phone on Instagram for an hour, or do I want to go explore like this 500-year-old gate to a palace that was built by a Roman emperor that is right down the street from my house?
Well, was the locals, were they on their phone?
Yeah. I don't know. It was weird. In Turkey, everybody just drinks tea all the fucking time. And so you'd see like old men, like everywhere I went, it was just old men smoking and drinking tea. Always.
Well, I'd love that. Just be chilling with old man doing that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, playing chess.
That to me, that's fun.
Yeah, playing chess, doing that shit. And I could stop there and ask them or talk to them or whatever. They tell me. And like, if it was a restaurant, they'd like get up and like bring me the food and be like, you want this, you want this, you want this. But like, that's just what people do. They just hang out and they just talk.
See, you fuckers would be doing all that. I'll be drinking tea with the old man, just talking shit the whole day.
They obviously were. They were just having a good time. And so that was a cool thing to me, is that there was a lot of people. I mean, there are very definitely a lot of people who were, chilling on their phones, doing whatever, having themselves whatever time that they were having. But most of the culture is built around drinking tea, just being around, just doing what you're doing and just doing it. Like, they didn't seem to care. Like, there was no like closing and opening times or anything. It was more like, when am I going to go to bed? And when I'm not in bed, this is basically my house. This is where I hang out. This is what I do. It kind of reminded me almost of like going to First Friday Art Trail, and like, you're just chilling at your place, right? You're chilling at your studio. It felt like I was just chilling at everybody's studios, and they were just like, wait, if I wanted to come in, they'd say hi, they'd explain stuff. If I didn't care, they'd be like, cool, no worries. This is just where I am. No problem.
Post it up.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was neat. It was very, very neat experience. One that I want to do again.
That'd be awesome.
Sounds like a blast.
Now, your girlfriend, she's still over there?
Yeah, she's still in Kyrgyzstan. She actually got sick in Kyrgyzstan. So her family is helping take care of her, make certain everything's good.
How's she sick?
Well,
no idea. I mean, we literally traveled across the planet. She probably picked up something, a flu or whatever. Yeah, she's not COVID. I mean, I tested negative for COVID. So, and we were expressing a lot of bodily fluid, trading a lot of bodily fluids. So if I'm not sick, she's not sick. So she got a flu or something. Yeah. But she got sick with something, but it's nice. They have universal healthcare in Kyrgyzstan, so her family has just been, nice. Helping her. They've been shooting her full of everything that you need to get better. So,
I scratched this itch.
So, ASMR.
The fact that you can hear it.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I was gonna be not in the final part. All right, man. I gotta end this debate right here, right now. Coffee or tea? Which one is it?
God damn. Okay, so
Well, this is everybody, but let me hear you.
yeah. I drink a lot of tea, and the thing that I missed the most was drinking coffee. I did drink Turkish coffee, which is great, but Turkish coffee is a little bit more like espresso, and I don't necessarily like shots of espresso. So I'm going to say drip coffee, American drip coffee is still my number one fave.
Yep.
I think that was the first burp of the podcast, by the way. So
I've
what do
been
you
trying
think?
to hide.
Wow.
Go ahead, and do whatever you want. But so, what do you think, Pierre? Which one are you gonna choose
Tea or coffee?
It's like apples and oranges.
Ah.
You know, it's like
today? What are you
Tea.
picking?
coffee, and I didn't have any today either. I haven't had any sort of caffeine today, which is weird for me. Which is why it's been an unproductive day, I feel like, too. Because I usually but coffee usually. So, but tea at night, like to unwind, like to calm down, kind of, you know, like
What-
sleepy time.
What kind of tea?
I got this one mixture from Sister Herbs, and it has like passion flower and valerian root, and it's just like in chamomile. It's very calming, and it will put you to sleep. So.
What does valerian root do? I've heard like it's like really beneficial, I guess.
Yeah, it's a calming. I don't even.
Okay.
I'm a plant person. I don't even know what plant that is, but valerian root is definitely an effective thing, especially like in that mix of things. So,
Okay.
but coffee
Coffee.
does
Coffee does the trick.
it keeps me going. It's also like a meal replacement in a weird way.
God,
Like when you're
yes.
like
I've heard
really
that. I've
hungry,
heard that.
Yes,
like,
it is. In the
or it
mornings,
just, like-
2 cups of coffee. I'm
it just
good.
makes you like not as hungry like throughout the day, which like makes me more productive also, because sometimes I forget to eat anyway, or I'll just be going, you know. So
I
but
wish.
coffee.
I've heard a
I wish
lot.
I forgot to.
I've heard people say like they forget to eat, and I'm like, how? I just don't. I don't understand it. I don't know. It's like I don't know. What do you think, Jen? What are you picking?
Oh, coffee for sure. I love coffee. I tried to replace coffee with matcha green tea lattes, you know, or just matcha green tea just in general. And
From
it's
where?
really good. No, like I was making it
Oh,
like
okay.
at home. Like I was like whisking it.
Oh,
and
that's
shit.
cool. I heard
Yeah.
that's like how you're supposed to do it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, with a little whisk.
None of
yeah.
that Starbucks shit.
Yeah, no, I made it at home, and like
Nice.
it's great. Okay, and like I was kind of on crack for like a month because of it, because like with like matcha green teas, it's like you get like a pouch for like $20 or $30, you know, and I, being I guess just like the gluttonous person I am, I was putting like one whole like tablespoon into
Oh,
like
you
a
were
cup.
you were like going for
You were
it.
Yeah, well,
dosing up.
I was ignorant.
Dosing them.
Yeah, like I was ignorant because I just assumed a tablespoon, right? And so I was drinking it for like a month, and then like one day, like I had like the water like dripping from my Keurig to like, you know, like make like tea,
Uh-huh.
and I was just like bored, so I read the instructions, and it was supposed to be like a quarter of a teaspoon. And it was like a month that I was like drinking like an entire like
It
tablespoon.
was effective.
What was it doing it to you?
Like
Like a stimulant almost?
yeah, it's like it's supposed to
Caffeine
have
is
more.
a stimulant.
I believe it's
Oh,
supposed to have more
okay.
caffeine than coffee.
Oh shit.
So yeah, I was like pew 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 pew. At work.
Was there like any negative? Like, did it make you feel like shit at the end of the day?
No,
Oh.
this was like
I'm
in
not gonna lie,
June.
I'm good.
This was like in June when I was like running a lot, so it was great for me.
Isn't matcha like a green coffee bean,
I guess so. I
Isn't
really,
or is it
I don't
tea?
know.
I heard it was tea, but I also
think
read
it's-
a lot of stories about samurai killing people after drinking the matcha. So
Oh what?
yeah,
Word.
But
I read a lot of Wikipedia for
It's
a
me.
lot of things.
I think matcha might be like a green coffee, like an unroasted coffee.
I mean, it essentially is like it just. I really liked it for the taste because like I started drinking it from Starbucks, but then like I
It's
started
really
like
tasty.
yeah, and I started like looking into it, and I was
Especially
like, I can like
coffees.
totally confidently make this myself at home without like completely fucking it up, you know, as far as like
Mhm.
coffee goes. And so, yeah, I fucking loved it, but I didn't love it enough to replace it as my morning,
It's fair.
you know, drink. So I'm back to coffee.
It's fair.
That's
No,
what that
it
story
is
was.
tea. Matcha is from green
Oh.
tea leaves, so it's just like concentrated. It's
It's
Right.
cool though.
The video's uploading, or else we'd have the laptop for you to be able to Google.
It's okay.
So,
All
damn
right.
it.
Rattlesnake Roy.
I really don't have
Your
like.
tea.
I really don't have like a fucking. I just drink sweet tea, man. I don't drink none of that.
So it sounds like
So
tea.
tea.
So it's tea.
Well, but y'all are drinking all these other fucking teas and these other coffees. I don't drink any of that.
Dude, sweet tea is black tea, man.
Well, I love sweet tea. I'm
So
not
you're
gonna drink.
drinking tea.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
It's
say
tea
I'm
over
picking.
coffee.
I don't drink coffee. I've never really.
Hey, you know what I learned? If you were in Turkey right now, they'd be saying whatever tea they drink. You know, if you're in Kyrgyzstan, they'd be saying you're drinking a specialty cultural beverage, and you know what it's called? Sweet goddamn tea.
I want to try that milk. By the way, that'd be fucking crazy.
Imagine getting like fucked up over that.
I've seen shit. There's this guy. He was on a Travel Channel when it was actually good, and it was before kind of like before Vice, and he had the drinking show, and he was like in Mongolia, and that's what he got drunk off of was fermented milk.
How does it taste?
It tastes like sour milk. It like honest to God tastes like if you were to leave milk out for like a year.
Never mind.
But
So,
it
but,
tasted
like-
like it tasted like kind of like Greek yogurt.
Was it like obviously it was
Was it chunky?
tolerable enough for you to get like fucked up on it?
I mean, I was able to drink 4 cups of it, but I also was experiencing like the nervousness of being around, 9 people who all are very deeply interested in what I have to say, but I can't talk to them, and I don't
Yeah.
know how.
It's gonna be a very ignorant question, but I'm for real. Like, do they have modern plumbing? Is there toilets or is it?
They
shit
do
in
have
a hole.
toilets, but they also do typically have the squat toilets as
Okay,
well.
yeah.
And the squat toilets, honestly,
Isn't it better for you?
it was better for me, and
Yeah.
I was able to evacuate everything a lot more quickly. But it was not as comfortable to me because I'm not used to squatting.
Well, I knew somebody who had a stool. Like you put your
No,
legs
it's
on the stool
similar
when you
idea,
shit,
Similar idea.
and it's really good for your ass.
In Turkey, though, everything had bidets, which was delightful. I have never felt more clean.
Oh,
There's a bidet company here that sponsors podcasts. If you want to sponsor this one, that'd be pretty cool.
Sponsor some bidets.
There you go, man. That'd be cool.
But yeah, very different toilet experiences in every place that I've been. I am grateful to be here, though, where everything is familiar, because I do think that when you are doing anything with your private self, it ought to be comfortable.
Do you have a bidet?
I have a bidet.
Yeah.
I did buy a bidet off of Amazon, and I installed it in my place. I did not install a squat bathroom though I'm not going to. It's just it's a whole different experience. I've not been squatting
That's
my entire
weird.
life. Yeah. Just prepare yourself for that.
Do they at least use toilet paper over there?
No.
No.
What? Oh, really?
Well, outside the bidet, they don't.
No. Why would they?
Just a bidet?
Do they use the hand?
You don't have to use anything if you use the bidet.
No. In Kyrgyzstan or whatever.
Oh, in Kyrgyzstan, yeah, they did have toilet paper,
Sorry, I
but
keep saying it wrong.
it was very Soviet, so it was very sandpaper like, and
Those tough bastards.
it was not super comfortable. And I'm very glad that I brought, because I looked up things online beforehand. I did bring myself rolls of toilet paper beforehand, and I was grateful that I did.
Nice.
Dude, I've been saying Kyrgyzstan also.
Yeah.
But yes,
There's no Z?
I know. But you know what?
There's like 3 Z's.
Yeah, but you know what like sealed the deal is when I watched the opening ceremony and I saw Kyrgyzstan and then Kyrgyzstan. And then
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. All right,
Yeah,
I got it.
Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan, actually, if you watch the Olympics right now, they're world champion wrestlers. Their women's team has won gold over the past couple Olympics.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
They don't have very many athletes.
No, but their wrestlers kick ass. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they've been wrestling for 9,000 years, and they're terrifying at it.
Because of Alexander the Great. Was he over there?
Turkey. He was in Turkey.
Oh, well, shit.
The Kyrgyz actually fought off Alexander the Great's army.
Oh, shit. I'm wrong.
Yeah. But they
Where's
fought him.
Where's Borat from? Oh,
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan. That's
Yeah,
right.
who we met some professors from the lead university in Kazakhstan who built robots and shit. And I was like, this is not what I would have expected after watching Borat.
Wow.
Stereotypes.
Yeah. We're just trying to figure them out, man. I don't want to be ignorant anymore.
No.
Goddamn. I gotta go pee, Jen, so you hold this conversation down while I take a piss real quick.
Okay.
Oh,
That's what I had to
You
do a
wanna-
second ago.
you want another beer?
Yes.
You,
You want another beer?
yeah.
This is the part of the podcast where I feel the silence.
This is where you come in, huh?
Yeah. So what's up?
You can ask Peter because I also think I might go use the bathroom.
Yeah, you've been sitting there the whole time.
I'm also trying to figure out how to light my goddamn pot.
I love your outfit though. That I didn't know that you got it over there.
You look so comfortable.
It's all linen.
You look so comfortable, especially like knowing that it's like linen. Like wow.
Oh yeah.
I got this because all of the Turkish people were wearing outfits like this, and I couldn't understand how everyone was comfortable. And so I asked someone. We went to like this mall, and I asked the like salesman who spoke a lot of English. I was like, show me how to dress like the other people here are because I'm melting here. And he was like, cool, let me give you some outfits.
But you know what I love is because like when I like think of linen and like when I see linen, it's always just kind of like solid neutral colors. Like I really love that.
That it's colorful.
Yeah, and then it's got like a really nice pattern, like a really nice print.
I wanted
sick.
yellow because yellow is my favorite color. And so it was
sure.
Give me the yellow.
Did you get like a bunch of
I got
clothes?
This one. I got another one that's like orange and white, and then I have one that's just like white with black stripes.
So I follow your girlfriend, and on her Instagram, on her story, I guess you guys were shopping, and it was like levels of like stores. I was just so like enamored by it because I was just like, oh my god, that's like my dream.
Yeah, it was like
to just like shop like that.
It was a mall of like 9 levels. It was nuts. It was so cool.
Wow. I love that.
I am gonna go use the bathroom now.
Dude, you gotta do, Doug.
Oh, it's weird not being able to hear anybody in here.
Dude, these things pick up everything.
They really do.
Yeah, they do.
It's still cool if I go through this way?
No, I think you should actually go outside this time. Sorry. I don't know what my little sister's doing in there.
No worries, bro.
Shout out to Bud Light. Please sponsor the podcast.
Man.
They don't have an Instagram.
Yeah, they do.
Budweiser does.
I follow Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, will you send it to me?
Yeah.
Because I tried to tag them in a story one time.
I don't really.
And I couldn't find like a Bud Light official.
I don't really fuck with Budweiser. You like that?
It's been, I do, but man, I've just been on an IPA kick for so long. Eskimo Hut, just the selection of beer there and stuff. It's just so good.
That's why y'all like Two Dogs, huh?
I like Two Dogs because it's right by the studio.
Oh, that's right.
Walk right over there.
Oh, yeah.
But their beer is good too. But it's just convenient in that area because I'm over there a lot. So.
Do you live out of that studio?
No. It's just a work studio. Not the live studios are where like you saw us set up in this past weekend.
The cast was them.
Yeah, those are all apartments in the front of those. Yeah.
Is the back of them where they have like the living?
You're gonna scoot up, man.
Yeah.
So we can see you in your ass.
Yeah, it's like it's separated. They're really cool. I've applied for those like twice, I think. Maybe 3 times. I haven't gotten them though.
I applied once.
You did?
Yeah, just fucking around. Hey, whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah. I mean,
that'd be cool, but I don't think I'd do enough
nothing
like performance wise.
Right. It'd be a cool place to have a podcast. That's for sure.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
But I don't know. You can have a lot of those people have guest artists anyway. Like, so you could always have like whoever you wanted to come and set up for First Friday or whatever. And I don't know.
Pretty cool. First Friday live one.
I actually have that opportunity.
That would be awesome.
But I won't be here this August, maybe in September. Shout out to Cassandra.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
What's her name? Cassandra?
Cassie.
Yeah, Cassie. Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
And her little doggy.
To have like a podcast
cute little
during.
baby dog.
Yeah, like set up right there like
That'd
a
be
table and
sick.
just fucking
Do merch and do podcasts.
That would be awesome.
Well, there you go, people. Now I got to do it, so I will.
You announced
Spoke
it.
it. You just spoke into
We just got a
existence.
preview. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking into existing works.
I've
Yes.
heard that recently so much. People talking about the speaking to existence, and I'm really interested and excited about the idea of it.
You want to hear a good example of it?
Please.
Did you see where I interviewed her at Bar PM?
Yeah.
So I told her to talk about, if she wants to talk about it, Cholo night.
Cholo goth.
I was like, you should talk about it. Oh, we should talk about it just to put it out there. And then Young Crybaby hits her up. for an opportunity, and so then she's got an opportunity to do
No
it. So.
shit.
Yeah.
That's how it all came into being. You literally spoke it into existence.
Yes, like,
That's
and
cool.
It fucking works, man.
and like
The
not
law
to
of
just
attraction.
not to like, okay, so like when he interviewed me about it, like I had just kind of been like teasing like just the thought, or just like the dream of like, what if we could just like do like a Cholo Goth night? And so when he interviewed me,
Yeah.
I was kind of like low key, like a little like annoyed. And so after I was just
She was.
after I was just like, I wasn't ready to talk about it, dude. Like I just like, why would you say it? And he was just kind of like, well, we just fucking spoken into
See, like,
existence.
Doing this,
Yeah.
I learned like people tell me they want to do things. I'm like, well, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to talk about it.
I mean,
Just fucking do it.
Why?
I was so just like nervous about it, and
Yeah.
so I went to the cast block party. Shout out, and I hit up Aaliyah, young crybaby, and we were just kind of talking, and she just kind of pulled me aside, and she was like, "Hey, like I watched your interview, and I heard you say that you would like to bring a Cholo Goth night, and I also would like to bring one, and let's like." If you want to do your own thing, that's cool, but we could totally collab, and I can like give you like my space to like host it because I really believe in this, and I was just kind of like, word, okay, like now we
Let's
have
make this
to,
happen,
like now we
yeah.
have to, because it's like two like-minded people are gonna do something, so fuck
She's
it. I just
amazing.
found somebody.
She does
I love
a good
her
job.
so
Yeah,
much.
she
I
does
love
a
her
good
Like
so
at
job.
much.
first, like, because I applied for that
Wow.
particular space, and I saw that she got
Yeah,
it,
me too.
and she's doing like music and stuff, and I was just like, I mean, I was definitely salty at first, but like I love her,
Dude,
and like
when we were there
she used
on
to work
Friday,
at Schooners, and like
she does it right over there. I think.
she's-
Yes.
dude,
Yeah,
she's
we were
amazing.
there on
She's so
Friday.
interactive
They
and
were
Yeah.
playing
so
some-
welcoming.
And like
Good
me
ass shit.
being set up and like watching all of what she's been doing like with that space like all day.
I think she's doing something on Wednesday.
Saturday?
She's doing something this Wednesday.
She's doing
It's like
something.
a pop up on this Wednesday.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, she's
anyways,
using
I've
it
always
well.
loved
She's
her,
using it
and
well.
like just seeing that in action, I was like, man, you absolutely deserve this. Like
Mhm.
you're.
Yeah, I feel like
She's killing it.
Yeah.
She's putting that place, and she's making certain that there is noise coming from it, that there is good shit coming from it. I'm really proud of whatever the stuff it is, and I don't even I'm just like they're part of it as
Yeah.
as an audience member. I can't wait to see all of the everything she does over the whatever her residency is over there.
Is there like are you only allowed to stay there a certain amount of time?
They do have leases. The space that I'm in right now with the 806 Collective, so it's like 6 artists that are part of that one. Which Adam Muslo is about to have a solo show there, which is going to be badass because he invented a boat that you can fold up and put in a backpack,
Damn.
and it
That's
unfolds.
cool.
He has like a Kickstarter for it and everything, dude.
Badass.
So the show for this next Friday is going to be
next Friday is next first Friday.
next first Friday. Yeah.
Next week.
Is going to be his solo show where he's going to have his boat there and his prototypes and his like blueprints of everything, and like it's amazing. But anyway, like our space, it was like a open-ended lease, so like we didn't actually like. We weren't limited to a certain amount of time in there. Whereas like solo artists, they do sign a lease and they are limited, but they do give them also the option to renew it. The Live Work Studios where we were on Saturday, I'm not sure. I think it's for a year, but sometimes they especially with COVID, they've been letting them like renew it and do another thing. So yeah, Casp is great though.
It really is.
Shout out to Charles and Chad and John and all those guys. They're doing a lot of great things for Lubbock.
It's always cool to go around there and hang out.
Man, it's so fun.
Yeah, I've always been impressed with all of the. I mean, and it's not just been like art that I've seen out there, musicians or whatever. I've seen like weird, like theater plays. I've seen like, like dance things. I've seen like, I mean,
Ballet of Lubbock has a studio right next to
Ballet
ours.
That's what I was going to ask you about
Yeah.
this, because I know a girl in that.
Right there.
yeah, we saw like rap shows. I mean, on Saturday, and they were some pretty fierce shit. Some really.
I
good
love
stuff.
that they're involving music more, actually, which like it's in the Live Work Studios at this point, it's mostly like musicians.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
with young Crybaby in there now.
Yeah.
Aaliyah.
No, it's been really cool to see. There's some of my I think favorite exhibits out of any of the art scenes that I see, like even on First Friday Art Trail, to like go out and see what it is that they're doing.
And Danielle, who runs the East Lubbock Art House, she's
God damn it! I was gonna get her on the podcast.
She's about to move out of that one, but yeah, her birthday was yesterday too.
Son of a
actually.
bitch.
Happy birthday, Danielle.
If you listening, I'm sorry. I forgot to hit you back up. That's my fuck up.
You'll get her there.
Well, they're still always.
No, I've always been really impressed. That was the first thing that I heard about when I moved to Lubbock. That was what everybody was telling me to go see.
They literally have the domain FFAT, First Friday Art Trail.
Really?
Oh, for the internet, yeah.
That's
so
insane to me.
it's like coined for Lubbock. That's
insane.
Which other people have First Friday Art.
Yeah, I know other cities do.
We had it back home in Provo. Yeah.
Lubbock has made it.
They have it in Phoenix. I've heard about it in Phoenix.
It's a thing, but they actually have like that.
Because I remember when I heard it in Phoenix, I was like, I thought that was our thing. Well, I guess it is kind of our thing now.
Officially.
Yeah.
According to the internet, it is.
Yeah.
Domains, man, those are important to buy. I mean, I undersell that shit.
For sure, yeah.
Those are
Do
important.
you own rattlesnakeroy.org?
Nah, .com.
Nice.
It's only like $20, so it's really not that expensive.
If you can just get it, like if it fits your caters to like what you're doing and it works out that way, then that's awesome if you can get it.
Yeah.
Little tip for y'all out there listening, if you want to
buy domains. Get them now.
I always thought about that.
Do you own the Zimmel plans or do you own peterkeltz.com?
Xylem plants. Xylem's already taken. The XYLM was taken, which is there's actually a Xylem here in Lubbock. The XYLEM though, and it's like a plant out by the DMV out there.
Like a chemical plant?
I don't know what they do actually, but yeah, no. When I was like looking for websites, that was like a thing. I was like, oh shit, I gotta put like plants in it, and then I've looked up like my name, like peterkeltz.com. Like
I feel like Keltz is not a very common
I think
name.
It was taken, and I was just like, God damn it!
JoshBrown.com was taken, as you would not be surprised
No way.
about. No kidding. But extrawhitedude.com was not taken.
Hey, that's a fire fucking
I'd use it for everything. People do sometimes think that I'm maybe a white supremacist, and I'm really sorry.
Do you want to tell the story of you getting that bike?
Oh, the bike that I got from the Nazi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard this shit?
Let's hear it.
It's pretty crazy.
I don't have a car. You don't need one here in Lubbock. You want one though. But I bought a mountain bike at a really good deal. It came up on Facebook Marketplace. This like $900 mountain bike. This guy was selling for like $250.
Nice.
And I was like, I want that bike. So I reached out to him and he said, yeah, you can come buy it. I was like, cool. Do you mind if I use like Venmo? Because I didn't really want to stop at an ATM and get that much cash. It's like, no, let's do it at an ATM. I was like, cool. My bank's ATM is here. Do you mind meeting me there with the bike and I can get it to you? He was like, yeah, I'll meet you there. So we get there. I pull the cash out. The guy comes up in like this Dodge Charger, this red Dodge Charger that is covered in like racing stripes and a bunch of like Nordic symbols.
Like the Iron Cross and shit?
Yeah. And so I'm looking at this and I'm like my job is to study cults and like, stuff like that. And so I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is some neo-Nazi shit. Like some straight up neo-Nazi shit. And this guy gets out and he's a skinhead with like a goatee. And I'm like, oh, this guy looks like he has some neo-Nazi shit. And then he had sleeveless shirt and like neo-Nazi tattoos. Like not just the Iron Cross. He had like the eagle. He had like a bunch of stuff. And I was like, oh my God.
Was there ever any conversation about what color you are? Never.
He did not mention anything about that, but I think it was because it was pretty obvious
Okay.
where I was. And so he's talking to me, but I'm also looking at his bike.
He's fueled the Aryan Brotherhood.
Accidentally.
Wait, what?
I bought a bike accidentally from the Aryan Brotherhood or from some neo-Nazi. And so I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, first off, a little nervous, but then after like the shock of it fades, I'm also looking at his Dodge Charger. I'm like, there's not a bike on this Dodge Charger.
Shit.
He didn't hook up a bike
There's not a
rack to
bike
this.
here.
There's not a bike here. And so he looks, and I show him the cash, and I say, I've got the cash for you. I'm just kind of confused where the bike is. He says, oh, I'm just going to drive you to my place, and you can pick it up from my garage. And I have posted some, let's call it anti-Nazi shit in the past. And I was like, oh, somebody figured out a way to like lure me to
They
their
got
house
your
and
ass.
murder me. They're gonna erase me as a human being. But I like had taken a lift there, and I had like pulled my stuff out, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just see how far this goes. And I did put I put my like phone's like voice recorder thing on so that if worse came to worse, there'd be at least like that going. So he takes me and he drives fast as shit, like through everything, and then we show up this place on like 45th in Indiana.
Oh, not too far from here, huh?
Yeah, watch out.
Oh shit.
But he like opens up his garage door and we go into the garage, and his garage is mainly like a tool shed. Like there's a bunch of like, it's got like power tools and stuff like that. But then there's also a big old swastika flag like up on the thing. And I was like, if I was
Dude,
doubtful about shit before, I am not doubtful about shit now. And I was like, oh, you got a lot of nice tools. He was like, yeah, let me go into the backyard. I'll be right back. We'll have your bike. And so he brings the bike back and he gets it. And the technical price of it was $240 was what he was asking for. I had $250. And so he's like, give me a second. I need to go get my brother. My brother has like change for it. I want to make certain you have exact change. I don't want to fuck you over. And I was like, thank God.
there's a Nazi in this neighborhood.
And so
they're everywhere, man.
his brother comes out, and his brother, same shit. Buzzed head, goatee, like, and I was like, oh shit, there's like a group of them, or they're all in, or whatever. And he's like, here's 10.
Oh
and
my
he
God.
gives me
They're
a
like
big hug,
Aryan
gave me my
Brotherhood
drink, he was like,
roomies.
Okay,
They're all
were
friendly
they,
and
were they,
shit.
were they
Yeah.
prison tattoos or were they well
Dude,
done?
they look. Some of them look well done. Some of them look kind
Because
of.
my brother is in the Aryan Brotherhood, and he has prison
what?
tattoos.
Is
Yeah.
he is he
Yeah, he
is he
is.
in prison?
He is actually,
Well, okay, then
Yeah.
never mind.
but he's
Good.
also not blood related to me. He's adopted,
Okay,
but
there is a lot of things you're going to have.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Yeah.
Wow.
how old is he? He's
How do you just-
36.
Yeah, these guys
He's
are.
36.
How do you just dump that on us?
That was
Well, it's on the subject, so
Yeah, that's another first on
But
the
yeah,
snake
these
pit.
guys. So these.
I'm pretty sure those guys don't listen to your podcast.
I hope they do. Why
No,
not?
they should.
We can be friends.
These guys look like they had more professional tattoos.
We're not talking shit. We're just
Well,
saying like this is who they are.
Yeah.
They didn't look like prison tattoos, and I don't think that they got prison decals.
Hey, look, I'll be honest.
Charger.
I don't want to live in a country where you can't be openly like that. Like that's freedom to me. You know, you should be able to. You know, most of the time I don't think they're hurting anybody.
I was mainly just nervous that they were gonna like. Again, I made some relatively.
Well, dude, I was asking you about the flags earlier. You know, I said
Yeah.
because I've been walking around this fucking neighborhood, and you said they're everywhere. I've seen a lot of fucking Confederate flags
It was
everywhere in this fucking
There
neighborhood.
was some Confederate flags, but that would have not have surprised me. It was the fact that they were like in the garage, and this was not a place that like if the garage doors were open, you would have been able to see. It was because I got pulled into the garage that I saw like that is a Iron Cross, Nazi Eagle,
You
like
should have asked them about
red
it.
and swastika.
Hey, what do y'all believe?
I
Yeah.
was because somebody had driven me to a place in their car. I was not ready for that experience.
Man,
ready for that conversation.
I watched a movie with Sam Rockwell called
Jojo Rabbit.
My Best Enemies or something.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Dude, it
I
made
like
me
Sam
it made me
Rockwell, yeah.
cry. It was beautiful, and it's a true story of like a Klansman in this little town that's like, you know, there's still segregation in schools, but the black school burns down.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to get the black students to integrate with the at the white school because it's their only option.
Yeah.
And so like he basically like runs that town, and it's a true story, but like they go through all this like crazy shit with like the state and the judge and everything, and they end up like, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling, but they end up becoming like really good friends. And like he tears up his Klan's card like at like the city, like the town hall meeting and everything. At the end of it, they get integration so the students can study together. And then in the credits it like shows like their actual pictures.
Yeah.
And like she actually did at his funeral, she did his eulogy.
It's cool.
Dude. It was beautiful.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, oh
That's
my
pretty cool.
God, that's fucking
I
sick.
think it's one of the most beautiful things about humanity is the fact that when you have a goal to work towards together, you can put aside pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you want to make something happen, you will put aside whatever stereotypes, whatever bullshit that you have, because why else wouldn't you? I mean, this is another human being that you're talking about.
It was a beautiful movie. I did not expect to get shook that much by it.
Dude, Sam Rockwell has been in so
amazing.
many incredible movies.
Yeah,
He's such
Moon.
a weird, goofy guy. Yeah, Moon. I was thinking three billboards outside of LA.
Yeah.
Like I love movies, guys. I could do an entire movie podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one day we can do that.
I'll make you watch something and we can talk about
Geek
it.
out on movies.
That'd be cool. We could do like Taste Buds, but with movies.
I would love that.
Fuck yeah.
That'd
That's
be pretty
endless.
fun. That would
That's
actually be pretty
Let's
fun.
do that.
Yeah.
Speaking it into existence. There you go.
Speaking into it.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go, people. Full disclosure, it usually doesn't happen as fast as it did with Jen, but it happens. You gotta be patient
Yeah.
when you speak it. But yeah, we could do that. That'd be fun as fuck.
Fine. We can just like watch something like random.
Yeah, just talking about it. Choppa, if you're listening, we need art. We need a cover art for that, please.
Here.
You could call it just
No, don't say it, man. We can't let nobody steal our idea. We'll create that later. These bugs are starting to bug me, and I think
Oh, dude,
we're getting towards the end of it.
Yeah, we hit a good chunk of it.
Suspiria should be the first movie that we watch together.
We just want to talk about his
Yes.
trauma after watching it.
Dude, I watched that and it blew me.
Okay, which one was it though?
The new one.
The new one?
Yeah.
Fuck that movie.
Really?
Yeah, no, like fuck that movie.
I thought it was beautiful.
No, you know it's okay. Like,
I also
With
love
respect-
Tom York. Josh also likes
yeah,
Tom
no,
York a lot.
yeah, we love Radiohead.
I was
Like,
listening to that
Radiohead.
soundtrack before I even watched the movie, and then whenever like my
Okay,
favorite song
yeah,
from
so-
it came on in the most epic scene, I was like, "What the fuck? This is
the score.
badass."
The score is beautiful.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful fucking score. Shout out Tom York. Shout out Radiohead. Like, wouldn't mind. But I mean, I'm really glad that they got him because did you ever try and listen to like the original Suspiria score?
I didn't know
They-
anything about the movie, so
So-
now I want to watch the original.
So on your drive home, listen to the Suspiria score, like the 1970 something
Yeah.
version. They got a progressive rock band named Goblin to do the score. So it's like a very psychedelic, crazy,
rock,
yeah,
I
like
heard that actually.
yeah, and it's
Heard
that
about it.
that is
I've
what
heard
makes
of
the
it,
movie a
but-
trip, included with just like its use of like just primary colors and how like
Yeah.
they use like red tones to like foreshadow things. It's just it's a really cool
Word.
movie.
They use really basic things in a very complex way. which is
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
nice.
And so it's just like the story isn't that great. It's just the way it's made is like really cool. That's why I love that movie so much because like I know the movie is shit. It's just it's pretty. It's just beautiful.
I'll give a shout out to my friend Aaron Nichols.
I got
He
so
loves so many
excited.
bullshit movies, but he loves them because of how well they do it.
Yeah.
There you go. So like we can do like once or twice a month do a movie podcast because I know a lot of people fucking love
Oh,
movies.
yeah, you could just
Yes.
talk forever about.
Yeah, we
I
could,
forever stand Suspiria. I
yeah, I
regret.
knew you love that shit.
No, you know what? I regret. Okay, so I've got both elbows tattooed, But for the longest time, I wanted the Suspiria stained glass. In the first movie, it's my elbow tattoo. But I got too eager and I was fucking scared just to have a pop of color here. And so I just got a spiderweb because I'm basic.
It's fair. I'm very afraid of getting my elbows tattooed because it sounds painful as shit.
Oh, it's fucking awful. I got my kneecap tattooed.
I got pretty close too.
I got close, but
Yeah. No, I've got both.
And you have your kneecaps as well?
So I got, on July 1st,
tattoos is
R.I.P.
another
me.
good
Yeah,
theme.
another
God
good
damn
way.
it.
Share
Yeah.
tattoos, share
That is
tattoos.
another
Here you
good
go. Keep it up.
Yeah. So I got my kneecap tattooed on July 1st and morale was low. It was fucking awful. Like,
Who's
teeth
morale?
were chattering. Me.
Oh, your
Like,
morale.
it was
Your morale.
so
Oh my
painful.
God.
Apparently it's, like,
that's
super duper
embarrassing.
duper painful.
Oh my God.
It was so painful.
And I only know girls who have them. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the women out there. Shout out to the women.
I could only do 2 hours. And I'm embarrassed to say it, but fuck it. I have a 30-minute appointment on Saturday to finish it out
To
because
finish it out.
I could not do 30 more minutes. It
You
was
know,
just that
that's fair.
excruciating.
I got only this one. This is the only one that I have, and you can ask Jeremy Couture. He just, shout out to Lubbock Life Festival. He just held my hand while
That's
I
coming
was
up too,
getting
huh?
it.
Really?
Yeah, August
The date of the month, right?
28th, August 28th.
Yeah, him in here to talk about.
He's been on here before.
Yeah, he came.
Yeah,
But we'll do it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
We'll do it.
but now he's like,
Fuck.
They got the thing badass.
I'm planning out August. You're coming on now, dude. I'm gonna have to hit him up. We can talk about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, bring him and Amelia, and they can talk about all the crazy bullshit they have planned for it. It's good shit.
That'll be fun. We'll have to-
Yeah, I am afraid of tattoos, and I had to have a good old big man hold my hand while I cried a little bit.
That's okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, they hurt.
Taurus.
It's okay. I was
Depends
just,
on how
I
much
was
meat
dying.
you got on you, but my rib one was.
Oh God, the ab one
I
hurts.
can imagine.
Shit hurts.
Dude, I think that's the thing that blows my mind the most about Aziza. She's this tiny little Asian girl, and the
And
only
her
tattoo she
back.
has ribs.
Dude, that's my
spine.
mom.
Like she just did ribs, spine.
My mom
Your
has
mom's
ribs and
tiny.
knees and
Yeah.
fucking everywhere covered, and
Chest,
she don't give a
everything.
fuck.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but
Pain tolerance,
shout out to
yeah.
them.
My pain
Well,
tolerance
she's
is
given
very low.
birth, so you know.
Yeah, that's fair. I haven't done that. I don't want to do that.
Glad we don't have to.
Not ready.
I say that.
You won't do that.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Well, boys, I really appreciate y'all coming. This has been a good one. Where can they follow y'all at if you want them to?
Follow me at Extra White Dude, and then me and Aziza just
Space Cadets, right?
built a new one. We are Space Cadets.
I love y'all's Instagram.
Yeah.
ExtraWhiteDude.com.
Yep. And then Peter Keltz has a couple.
Well, it's and I haven't posted anything on my. I have one dedicated just to the plant things that I do called at Xylem Plants, XYLM Plants, but my personal is at Peter Keltz. So
Yeah.
And then you like sell that shit too, right? Where can they find that?
yeah, they just people just DM me through my personal account or the Xylem account. So
And then
Yeah.
physically you're over at Cast, right?
yeah,
First Friday,
and
check 'em out.
Studio at Cass, which I won't be in there. This next one, it'll be Adam and his like boat
Oh yeah.
thing, which is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see it. But I got to move all my plants out of there.
If you need to move to my house, you're welcome to.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see. But yeah. So all good. Man.
There you
Thanks
go.
for having me.
Yeah, man, it was fun. Jennifer, yeah, hella soft.
Hella soft Texas
Hella
chainsaw.
Get the
yeah.
hair
Hella soft. And,
going.
Texas Chainsaw Alchemist.
Nice.
There you go, people. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Peace.
There you go. Episode 140. Peter Keltz and Josh Brown, Extra White Dude. Good one. Good time. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Like, share, retweet, all of that, please.